I really believed in Buddhism. I was part of the youth group at the temple. I was very involved in temple activities. My father was a hardcore atheist philosopher who spent years and years trying to teach me how to debate against theists. I did get kicked out of school. I did have a difficult time. And I did realize at that point my religion was offering me no direction. The worldview of Islam is so obvious. It solves all the problems. And it's simple. When my wife started catching on, I was Muslim. She became very anti-Islam. She started studying Islam to find things to make me not be Muslim anymore. She got corona. She's not getting better. Her oxygen levels were still acceptable, so I wasn't super worried, but I was concerned.
いろいろ考えてしまって悪いこと。このまま死んじゃうのかなみたいな。
Then randomly one day out of nowhere, when she says if I die, I don't want to go somewhere different than you and the kids.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Shige and sister Lisa. Thank you so much for coming to our interview of As Towards Eternity. We are very happy to have you with us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
So, brother Shige, can you tell us briefly about your life, please?
I'm a fourth generation Japanese American. My father was a hardcore atheist philosopher who converted to Buddhism. My mother was a born Buddhist whose family has been part of a Japanese Buddhist mission in America for 4 generations. I started out as a Buddhist and pursued a traditional Japanese art form in Japan to reconnect to my roots. And instead, I ended up connecting to Islam.
I born in Japan. My parents, of course, Japanese. Actually, I believe Jesus. So I did, and then I guess I talked to Isa. But I didn't know about Islam anything.
So, how was your life in regards to faith?
I think Buddhism especially was very central in our family. I knew that my grandfather was very respected in the community. I knew, obviously, my mom worked at the temple, so I we were there every weekend. I was part of the youth group at the temple. I was very involved in temple activities.
So, I was surprised. There's Sunday service like Christian church, but there's no that kind of thing in Japan. So, I was surprised. They have a song about Buddha and singing. I wasn't go every Sunday, only just a few months, maybe just my father, he wanted to take us to the Christian church.
What was the thing that made you question your beliefs?
I always questioned my beliefs, actually. I really believed in Buddhism, but I didn't believe in Jodo Shinshu. It's a type of Japanese Buddhism. It's actually maybe the main Japanese Buddhism. In Japan, at one point in time, Buddhism, religion, was very political. It was highly political. And there was actually a law passed in Japan that said that every Japanese family had to register their name to one of the Buddhist temples. You had to belong to a temple. Once you start studying the history, and I just didn't think that any true religion could be making its religious decisions based on the politics of a specific time in history. There's also a lot of things that didn't make sense to me.
And how did your journey to Islam begin?
I got in a lot of trouble in high school. So I got in trouble trying to establish myself or prove myself maybe too much. I did get kicked out of school. I did have a difficult time. And I did realize at that point that my religion was offering me no direction. It wasn't helping me make good decisions with my life. And that's when I really decided to go all in on learning Japanese culture. Because I thought, well, okay, I'm going to give up on religion for a bit, but if I just focus on something positive and just put all my energy there, then I don't have energy to do, other things that maybe I shouldn't be doing. So that's how it all started. So I came to Japan in 2006 as a foreign exchange student. That's when I met my wife. I guess it was very important for me to feel authentic. And I think that's why I went so hard into trying to really immerse myself in very traditional Japanese culture. And that became my religion for a while. Flash forward to 2012. Now, he's a very good friend of mine, a guy from Syria. came to Japan during the Syrian civil war. He had to come as a political refugee, and we just started talking. I asked him like how he conceptualizes God. Like, what is God? Is God the universe? Is God a guy with a beard and a cloud? Like, to you, what is God? And his response to me was like, well, actually, he said, let me show you something. And he showed me ikhlas. He said, this is what we believe. And I said, okay, so it's not a guy. He's like, no, obviously it's not a guy. Is it the universe? No, it's like nothing you can imagine. There's nothing, equal to him. And it's not like, has nothing to do with the Christian beliefs. Like, no, he wasn't created, he didn't give birth to anything. Nothing gave birth to him. Again, it was just obvious. I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, okay. I can vibe with that. That's okay. When I met this Syrian guy, it just happened to be at a point in my life when I was rethinking how I was living. And, I actually realized that I already believed in God. And looking back on my life, I think I realized that I believed in God my entire life. But it was something that I was pushing away for whatever reason. Maybe I was pushing it away because my father was a very hardcore atheist philosopher who spent years and years trying to teach me how to debate against theists and how I should respond to them and how I could, belittle their beliefs in God, how to fight back against Christians who are trying to, tell me about the message, the word of Jesus. So I think from very young age, like literally, 10 years old or so, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be, it's not a good thing to be believing in God. You're not supposed to believe in that. And as I got older and more committed to the temple, I felt more and more like I can't believe in God because I have to be committed to this temple, or I have to be committed to the Japanese community here, and they don't believe in God. So my spiritual journey was actually really short, the spiritual journey itself. I met this guy. He told me about Islam. I kind of remembered all these little bits and pieces from my life. And I was like, yeah, actually, if I'm honest with myself, that's what I believe in. It wasn't that hard. It was actually very fast. I knew I was Muslim very quickly. The worldview of Islam is so obvious. The second if someone tells you, if you're honest, it's so obvious, it's hard to not see. It solves all the problems. And it's simple. But the reason it took me a long time and I had to study and research and look into this and that and this and that is because I'm thinking of all the people that I'm going to have to explain this to later on. How am I going to talk to my philosopher father? How am I going to talk to my Buddhist mother who's working at the temple? How am I going to talk to like the family and the community, that I grew up in this temple? Like they know my grandfather, my mother, and then me. And
how did your family, your wife react to your reversion to Islam, your families? The thing that you feared the most? Have you noticed something? While watching this video, you don't see any ads. Since Towards Eternity is a non-profit organization, we can only produce these videos through your support. If you want to be a part of this good deed, donate to Towards Eternity and don't miss this golden opportunity. How did your family, your wife react to your reversion to Islam, your families? The thing that you feared the most?
So this was the real reason I was studying, because I knew what I was in for. I knew that my wife was not going to accept it. Her family was definitely not going to accept it. My family was not going to accept it. My father, my mother were not going to accept it. I just knew already no one was going to be happy. So as just a survival technique, I guess, I was just trying to hide it as best I could. I didn't pray in front of people. If I was fasting, I didn't tell people I was fasting. I would just make like excuses like, oh, I've got a doctor's appointment after this, or I have to keep like an empty stomach, or I'd just pretend to drink something and not actually drink it. For a long time, I think it was just very hidden. I thought that with my wife, I would just make small changes, and eventually if I just became a better person, or if she saw family life getting better, maybe, she would ask me like, oh, hey, why are you such an awesome husband now? Like, what happened? That didn't happen though. So every little small change I had to introduce very, very carefully. For example, praying, waking up for Fajr. How quiet could I be? And so even now, it's kind of funny, like people laugh, like when my alarm goes off, I'm trained, so like I can jump up so fast, I can turn off the alarm before the first beep finishes. So like, like if it goes dee 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 dee, I can be like dee, And I can get it. And when my wife started catching on that I was Muslim and I was fasting because of Islam and I was not drinking because of Islam and I was asking her not to cook with pork anymore because of Islam, she became very anti-Islam. She started studying Islam to find things to make me not be Muslim anymore. And then it was kind of going okay, but then like I started growing a beard.
Yeah.
So any of the women in my life, basically, anytime they saw my face, they would tell me, you look like Osama bin Laden. Like, if you want to join ISIS, then why are you in Japan? Like, shave your face. Like, you look dirty. Like, you need to, like, go shave. Like, do you need me to buy you a razor? Like, and this is like, every time I met. So every time.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It was always like this.
And then how did your wife become Muslim?
So, again, things were going very bad. I was getting to the point where we were actually talking about separating. Obviously, I didn't want to. And she said, fine, we don't have to separate, but like you can just go live at a different place and you can live in a different room, get a different apartment, and you can be Muslim there. I don't care. Officially, legally, we can be married. You can come see the kids on weekends and stuff, but you just go be Muslim somewhere else. Leave us out of it. Like you're making life difficult for us. It was getting bad. And we were just fighting all the time. I remember coming home one night and we live on the second floor. And I got to the bottom of the stairs outside of my apartment and I didn't have enough energy to step up to the first step. And I stood in front of the staircase and I was just so tired. I was so tired of fighting. I was so tired of defending, my beliefs. I was so tired of people telling me to shave my face. I was so tired of so many things. And I just stood there and for the first time turned to Allah. And I said, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, so please, whatever is best for me. I don't, if it's with my wife, please make this work. If it's not, then please just, I'm asking for something better, but I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm just so tired. Right then, it was very, very early in Corona. Like, it's like after day 5 or something, like the people who get better, and then the people who get worse, they just start to get worse. And this is on the news when you're seeing like, so many people dying from this and the hospitals are, they're at capacity or whatever. It's like peak fear. Everyone is peak fear of Corona. And very early on, I got Corona. So this was at a point in time where if you got Corona, the hospitals wouldn't accept you, an ambulance isn't going to come pick you up. Like, you don't want to tell people you have Corona because there's still like a stigma about it where, it's like you have the Black Plague or something. And so, I was locked in a room. I had to lock myself in a room for a while and, we didn't know what was happening. But I started to get better. But as I started to get better, my wife got sick.
もうだんだん治らないので、熱も下がらないし、咳も出るし、味もわからない、匂いもわからない。なんかもう、周りの人もなんか怖いから隔離しなきゃいけないっていう、そういうわけのわからない病気になっちゃったので、もしかしたらこのままだと本当に死んでしまったら、しげさんとも会えなくなるし、子供たちとも会えなくなっちゃうっていうのがもう。
And she's not getting better. Okay, well, it's going on like 2 weeks now and she's getting worse. And her cough is getting worse and it's going on 3 weeks and it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay, this isn't good. And then from my perspective, I was worried, her oxygen levels were still like acceptable. So I wasn't like super worried, but I was concerned.
もうとりあえず、旦那がもう治ってるのにもかかわらず、私が全然治らないのがもうどんどん心配になってきて、しかも一人でこう隔離されているので部屋が、誰とも会えないし、すっごいいつも以上に自分の時間があったんですね。だから、なんかすごい、私もともと心配性なので、なんかいろいろ考えてしまって悪いこと。なんかこのまま死んじゃうのかな、みたいな。
Then randomly one day out of nowhere, she says to me like, hey, so you need 2 witnesses for Shahada, right? And I was just like, wait, what? It's like, is this a question you're asking for a friend? Like, and she's like, no, for me. I was like, wait, what? Shahada? Wait, 2 people? Yeah, wait, what? You want to become Muslim?
そうだからもうこのまま死んでしまうくらいだったら、もうずっとムスリムになるの、シャハダするのも嫌だなって思ってたんだけれども、今そんなこと言ってる場合じゃないなって思ってお願いしました、シャハダ。
And she looked at me, she says like, yeah, like if I die, I don't want to go somewhere different than you and the kids. If I die, I want to go to the same place as you guys. So I called my boy and I'm like, Yuki, come here, man. I need you. Like, he's still a kid, so maybe it doesn't count, but it was Corona. We're in lockdown. It was the best we could do. I said, I need you to be a witness with me, buddy. And so we stood there and she gave her Shahada from the quarantine room and that was it.
なんか安心した、なんか肩の荷が下りたっていうか、なんかもうこれでもし死んじゃっても大丈夫みたいな。死ななかったんだけど全然死ななかったんだけど、死ぬレベルでもなかったんだろうけど、自分の中ではなんかこう、これでなんかこう家族とバラバラにならなくて済むみたいな、なんかアラーの方にしっかりと向けたっていうのが嬉しかったのは覚えてます。
Several weeks after that to realize, like, wait a second, I had given up and it only took 2 weeks. Like, I should have given up like 8 years ago. Like, what was I doing this whole time? Like, how many hours did I waste?
You were accumulating a lot of good deeds.
This whole time, like, if there's any lesson that anyone can take from this, and this is why when people ask me my reversion story, I always say mine isn't that important. The most important reversion story is my wife's, because I could not do anything for 8 years with the amount of hardship that was in that relationship. And all I had to do was just give up and say, Allah, Ya Allah, please take this off of my hands. I can't do this. And, 2 weeks later, from my perspective, it was just so sudden. And it took me a really long time to process that she'd become Muslim. And, I'd wake up at like Fajr, and like I was unsure if I should wake her up or not. I'm like, should I let her sleep? Is she gonna be mad if I wake her up? Is she really Muslim? Is it, But I would like be like this, and then she'd open her eyes and she'd be like, Fajr? Like, yes. So, we pray.
You were part of a certain culture for years, your relatives, loved ones as well. You were a stranger to the Muslim community. Wasn't it hard to leave what you had been used to for years?
Yes, it was very hard. I had sacrificed everything, whether it's my money, my time, my energy, even my relationships with other people. But when I left that world, I've done nothing else. Like, I don't know how to do any other business. I don't know how to do any other work. I don't have any other, like real helpful business degree or any knowledge about anything, really. Yeah, it was very difficult. And I was just saying, the only thing I kept with me was Allah says if you give something up for the sake of Him, He'll replace it with something better. And so in my right hand, I had this, and in my left hand, I had everything else in my life. And I just had to let go and just trust that something was going to work out. Alhamdulillah, I really honestly believe that Allah just put this belief, this iman in my heart. And that's it.
ムスリムになった後の方が多分、すごく自分自身がもうオープンになったというか、解放されたというか、もうなんかより、もう自分たちがムスリムのファミリーなんだから、コミュニティに入らなきゃっていうか、もう友達作って、子供たちのために、私も偏見があったので、偏見なくさないと日本ではやってられないから、なんとかしなきゃ、みたいな感じになってったんですけど、
After she became Muslim, she had her first Ramadan with me. My Ramadan is a very sad, it's a very sad, lonely event. It's just difficult and hard, and you're totally alone. You break fast by yourself and you fast by yourself, and it's not fun. On the other hand, she was like on Instagram, and she's seeing all these posts of people having these like really amazing spreads for like iftar parties and people like really enjoying Ramadan as like a festival. And she's so mad at me. She's like, no, I want Ramadan like this. Like, this Ramadan is terrible. Like, and so since that time, basically, she's been working with, JDC. We got involved with, here we are right now. We're at the Japan Muslim Association, JMA. We're part, we help out with like events around the Tokyo area with JDC, with our local masjid in Yokohama.
What do you admire most about each other?
What I admire about her? A lot of things, actually. Ever since we met, there are many things that she was naturally doing that as a Muslim you should be doing. I'm coming from like this revolutionary American background where it's just like if I have someone telling me what to do, my first initial reaction is just to be like, yeah, forget you, yeah, get out of here. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's my parents or anything. Astaghfirullah. But with her, she's always been, I don't know whether she felt if, Jannah was at her mother's feet, but she's always acted that way. And so I respect that about her very much. She's always been very family-centric. She's always cared about our children, been very involved with their lives. I respect that about her.
常に優しいところとか、なんか私がすごくひどい たはずなのに諦めないでいてくれたところは、もうムスリムになる前から私がすごいもともと感謝してるところだけど、あとはなんだ、特にやっぱりムスリムになった後の方が好きかも。なんかそのなんだろう、性格が変わったというか、なんだろうな、ムスリムになった後の方がどんどん家族を大事にするようになった。それこそ自分のお父さんお母さんとかに電話したのって言わなくても電話できるようになったじゃん。そういうのとかもすごい、わあ、マシになって思うし。なんか本当に自分がその家族と会いたいって言った時にも、なんだろう、じゃあ会わなきゃねってなるようになったりとか、なんだろう、家族を大事にっていうところがすごく良くなったから。
So basically nothing. No.
優しい。
She says I'm a nice guy.
優しい。
Do you talk a lot? So was that the only thing she said?
Yeah, basically.
分かってる。
What impressed you the most about the Prophet ﷺ?
When he talks about saving his dua for the last day for us, when we're standing in front of Allah, he's saved his dua, his one dua that will definitely be granted. He's saved that for us. Now when I hear things like this, I actually feel like it's actually us. He actually, when he saw through time, maybe he was looking at me, maybe he was looking at you, he was looking at this generation. So yeah, for me, I guess his ability to see through time and his compassion for people he's never met is the most impressive thing.
Brother Shige, Sister Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your story sincerely with us. May Allah reward you and inshallah keep you steadfast on this path, on the straight path until your last breath, inshallah, and reunite you in the hereafter, inshallah, in the Jannah, inshallah. Jannah al-Firdaus, inshallah. Thank you so much.